Hi, and welcome to The Real Deal with Deb. Being born into dysfunctional generational trauma, I know too well the effects it can have in all the different areas of our life. So I decided to create a space to support women of all ages where we can grow together while sharing personal and entrepreneurial lessons learned through authentic connection, love, and laughter. After 30 plus years of building a successful business as a REMAX realtor while studying emotional intelligence skills throughout my career and life, I now want to help support other women and empower them to tap into their own emotional intelligence skills. Thanks for stopping by and welcome to The Real Deal with Deb. I'm excited today to have a guest all the way from Nigeria, Africa, and her beautiful name is Eche Awa. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Debbie. It's an honor to be here with you.
Oh, thank you. Well, I appreciate you taking your time out of your day to do this. Now, I want to, because, we're all women, and I want to kind of share where, how was it growing up for you in Nigeria and Africa? And how would you say things are these days living there as far as women being treated in the society you're in?
Wow, that's an amazing question, Debbie. Growing up in Nigeria, I grew up in the southeastern part of Nigeria. I would say it was fun. Yes, for me, it was fun. We have a lot of communal life, sort of. So you get to have a group of friends you always play with, apart from family, a group of friends you always play with in the neighborhood, go to school together, play together after school. Sometimes they come over at your place and you guys see one or two movies together. So I would say it was fun. And I grew up in a religious home, so we also had church activities. So you also had friends in church. So when you go to church after the service, you play too with your friends. So growing up was fun, and I think for me, growing up is what molded me into the woman I am today. It helped
Oh,
shape my understanding of the world, the way I relate with people. It also gave me this drive and passion to be excellent in everything I do. My dad was one that would always want you to succeed at whatever you do.
oh,
You
so
get
you
your
had a
grades in
lot of
school.
encouragement. Yes.
Exactly. You get your grades in school. He wants you to be the best or among the best. You go for competitions. He wants you to go there and come out tops. He has always been the one pushing us, my dad and my mom. So I would say growing up, it was fun. Of course, we had some challenges, which we still have. Sometimes we have issues with electricity, but right now I live in the southwestern part of Nigeria. I'm married. I live with my husband. So right now, to help curb the electricity issue, we use solar. We use solar power. Yes, we use solar power in addition to electricity. So when there is no electricity, we switch on to solar and we use it. And we have an inverter that helps store the energy for the night time. So I can say that's our way of combating that issue. And then on the second part of the question, as a woman, I would say it's fairly good here in Nigeria. It's easy to rise as a woman. It's easy to succeed as a woman if you are determined. But I would say I think we had something like that in our previous discussion. One thing I would love to see happen in Nigeria is to see women, like a woman president, a
Okay.
woman
Yes.
president, or even um yes, woman president, women as the chief speaker of the House of Representatives,
Right.
women in this top position. I would love to see how it would be, because I believe there would be lots of changes. So
Mhm.
that's one thing I'm really looking forward to. But when it comes to women and women rights here in Nigeria,
Mhm.
I would say to a fairly good degree, it's okay, but I know there's a whole lot to be done. When you talk of abuse, even domestic violence in the home, yeah, there are
Mhm.
some organizations that help, but on a larger scale, there's a whole lot to be done. And in some areas in the country, talk about, let's say, the northern part of the country, there's more work that needs to be done when it comes to women rights. Some
Right.
women don't have access to quality education. Let me even say access to quality life in general. It's
Wow.
difficult for them to survive, difficult for them to lead a normal life. So I believe in such areas,
Mhm.
a lot more work needs to be done. I see those women as women whose rights have been entirely violated, and I think that's one area that we need to work on as a nation.
Well, thank you. That was very informative and very,
Thank you.
insightful.
Oh,
It's interesting that you share. I never knew that as far as living in Africa, that, that there are there's issues with your hydro, and that, to combat, you're using more solar energy, which I think, I can speak for in Canada here. We are definitely leaning towards using more and more of solar
yeah.
energy. I think
It,
for the
the
environment,
this
yes.
the
So, yeah.
solar power is not available to all. It's actually cost a whole lot. So it's not available to all. So
Okay.
I think because of the nature of my job and my husband's job, it's more like a necessity for us. We work online. So because the electricity is not stable, in fact, it is more unstable, if I could use that word,
Yes.
we realize it's very necessary for us to use solar power, at
Right.
least to be able to deliver to our clients and stuff like that.
Right, right, right. Well, you know what? Really interesting. And I think that I really appreciate you sharing the wonderful support that your parents have given you, and what a difference that has made for you to go after your dreams and
Yeah.
know and believe that you can excel at whatever you put your mind to. So thank you. That's a really important message to be shared, that our support that we're surrounded with really does make an impact on our belief of
Our
what we can
life.
do, and so true for women. um Obviously, being a woman myself, I agree that we need to understand that we deserve equality, number one. Number two,
Mm-hmm.
that you're right. I'd like to see, we have a man prime minister, Trudeau. And I would love one day to see a woman prime minister. Like, there are countries that we've seen that there have been women leaders, and I
Human
think that's
leaders.
wonderful. But I think you're right. There's still a long way to go in most countries. And I look forward to seeing hopefully more growth in that area for sure. Now, I want to dive into, because I think it's such a wonderful, I'm so happy for you. You recently became a mother in 2022 to a little girl. And congratulations again. They really do. There's no stronger bond, I believe, than a mother and her child. And I wondered if you could share with me, because, and we're getting into your business after, but what are the challenges that you faced so far? Like, I know she's only, how old is she now? Your daughter.
She's getting to 7 months. In a week's
Oh,
time, she'll be 7 months old.
okay. And your daughter's name again? Sorry.
Nabila.
Oh, what a beautiful name. Now, so obviously, with your business and juggling and becoming a new mother, what has been the most challenging for you about it? And what is some tips or a tip you could share with the audience of any new moms to be, or new mothers that, just had their baby in the last few months?
Okay, I think one thing I realized, which I didn't know it was going to be that way before giving birth, was the fact that it's like there's a new thing to learn every day about
Sure.
yourself, about your baby, about motherhood. There's a new thing to learn every day. So you need to adapt and adapt fast. Like for instance, you could I started store solids for my baby when she clocked 6 months. And today she would be okay with eating this dish. And tomorrow she wouldn't want it. She would want something else. So you need to, I mean, it taught me a whole lot. And then taking care of a newborn on it's a 24/7 job on its own.
No, for
It's
sure.
round the clock. And then with my business too, I would say number one, I don't know how I'm surviving it.
It's amazing what you can do when,
I didn't know how I'm surviving it, but I know this is one thing I do. I think I read it from, I don't know if it's Instagram or from a blog, but I try to do what I can do. I think most times we women, we mothers, we want to get everything perfect, and because the truth is we can't get everything to be perfect, most times we miss out on a lot. So I try to know my limits. I
right,
understand my body, understand when I'm tired, understand when, okay, I'm supposed to work for this number of hours, but because maybe baby was a little too fussy today, there are dishes to be washed, there are clothes to be laundry to be
right.
done and all that. I can't give 7 hours to work. So because of that, I cut down. I put in 5 hours to work so I can have more time to do other things. And then there are days where you just know your body needs rest. Baby is not fussy, baby has been a good girl, but your body needs rest. So you should also listen to your body, because the truth is, if you are not healthy, if you are not strong, both physically and mentally, you can't take care of your baby. And at this point in time, she is more like the most important thing to you right now. So if you are not healthy, if you are not strong, if you are not doing okay, you can't take care of your baby. So I would say what one of the challenges I face, like I mentioned, learning, adapting to the changes that come each day, and
Right.
then I had to understand myself. Someone told me this, that motherhood shows you a whole lot about yourself.
Oh,
Before
yes.
I
Yes.
didn't understand it, but as a mom, even though she's just basically 7 months old, but I've learned a lot about myself too.
Oh, that's you.
And I'm still learning,
Yes, you brought up.
even about her. So it's a lot. You're taking care of the baby, you're taking
Yeah.
care of the home, your business. Just do what you can do. And
Yeah.
of course, hire more hands. Always ask for help and get help when needed. You're a human being. You could easily burn out. I remember my mom always telling me, make sure you eat well, make sure you eat well.
You're
I didn't
right.
understand
Yeah,
that.
you do now.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
there are days when you're exhausted, especially when I was still doing exclusive breastfeeding for my baby. There
Right.
are days when if I don't eat well, I feel dizzy, I feel faint. So
Sure.
imagine you're carrying a baby and you're feeling dizzy, you're feeling faint. It's not a nice thing to do. You could fall, I mean, you could injure yourself and the baby. So
Hmm.
take care of yourself. That is the only way you'll be able to take care of any other thing. I
Well,
had to, I
that's a
had
great no. Well, you know what? That you brought up a lot of wonderful tips shared that
Oh,
and
thank you.
insights, and I totally agree because you're right. If number one, if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to take care of anybody else, and your body as well is going through changes. Obviously before you have the child, your baby, but also now recovering from having a baby, your hormones and all the rest of it. So very, very, very useful tips shared. Thank you about making sure you're eating healthy, making sure you're allowing yourself to take the time you need to rest. Because, I think sometimes you're right. A lot of us women tend to, oh, gee, we got to get this done. We got to do this. And we have a list of 10 things and we
Yeah.
feel guilty if we don't get all these things done. And I think really, I appreciate what you said as far as allowing yourself. And I think that's just not even in the time of having a newborn and raising a child. I'm even at in my later stage in life now understanding that excuse me, when
Okay.
I need a rest, when I need to rejuvenate, to allow myself to do that without the guilt, without that. And it's the
Yeah.
same as what you're saying. So it really relates, I think, in so many different ways. So thank you so much for that. Now, I
Oh.
want to dive into, you are the founder and host of Ches, and I would love for you to tell us a little bit about your business. How long ago did you start it? Why did you start it? And what is your goal in your business? Like what vision do you see?
Mm, that's amazing. Okay, let me start by how long ago. The truth is, before starting my business, I've been working as a freelance. Chairs is an agency that is into social media branding and lead generation. So before starting this as an agency, I've been working freelance, for different clients. And at a point in time, I got lots of work on my hands. And because I believe in delivering excellently well to my clients, I just didn't want to outsource these jobs to just about anybody. So I brought in people. I have a background in HR, human resource recruitment, and talent management. So I brought in people and I trained them. And these people I trained are the people that now work with me in my organization. So that is how it all started. And so the business aspect of it, or should I say the agency, just started last year. I think last year, September, a couple of months after I gave birth. So it just started last year. And the goal, what drives me in this business, and should I say what drives me in life too, is I want to see everybody grow and develop themselves, grow and develop their businesses, grow and develop everything about them. So when I talk about social media branding and lead generation, I know that this is one area that can help people grow and develop their brands or their businesses, especially as we are in a digital world. So when you go in on social media, most of the time we don't know what to do, or most of the time we are doing a lot of things except the right thing.
Right.
That's where the branding aspect comes in. And then when we all get it right, of course, we want to get clients. We want to get the money. We want the pay to start coming in. And that's where we talk about lead generation.
Show us the money, baby. You're right. Yeah, we all,
Of course. Irrespective of what the drive is, there is money there. I mean, you're in business.
We got it. We all got to make money. You're right.
So you need to generate these leads, you need to nurture them, you need to convert them and make sales. So it all goes hand in hand. You don't just go on and do social media branding and you expect them to reach out to you. True, some will reach out to you, but you also need to do your own job. So I think that's basically it. I want to see everybody grow and develop. Everybody, men, women, business owners, entrepreneurs, I want to see them grow and develop.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well said. Very well said. And I love that you have so much passion about what you're doing. I love the business model. Like you said, you could be ready and you could be doing social media, but you may not be doing it in the right areas. That you help clients understand where their clients are and where and how to reach out to them. So you've really brought up some great insights as to what you do, why you do it, and that you're trying to help people to grow in their business. So thank you for sharing that. Now I think the last before we wrap this up, I want to ask you, what would you tell your younger self 10 years ago? What if you could share one message that you wish you had have known 10 years ago? What would you say to your younger self?
First, let me say there's a lot I would have said to my younger self. I have to go back.
Okay. Well, if you want to share a few things, go for it. It's all good.
Okay. I think I'll start with, you don't need people's permission to be your true self.
Very good.
You don't. Yeah. You don't need people's permission to be yourself. You don't need people's permission to pursue your dreams. You don't need to dance to their tune or get their go on. That's one. And then another thing I want to say is, be humble. Most times we don't see the beauty or the gain in humility, but humility is an amazing virtue that will open lots of doors to you. When I was in tertiary institution, I wasn't a proud person, but I'm beginning to understand more about humility now, especially after meeting my husband. He's been teaching me a whole lot about humility, because to a greater extent, it has helped me a lot in life. So I'm learning a whole lot more about humility. It's not just about being the lesser person or seeing yourself as the lesser person or not being proud. Humility includes kindness. It has a lot to do with empathy, understanding people, understanding why they act the way they are, why they look the way they do, understanding them. Humility also involves a bit of sensitivity, but sensitivity, not that you react to everything that happens around you. No, there is this beauty and calmness in humility. So that's one lesson I would have wanted my younger self to learn.
Well, that was, again, a great share. Thank you. And I totally agree with you, Ches. And I think it comes with maturity, for sure, because, I know in my 20s, there was a lot I could have told myself. And I think that is obviously the process of growth, of, learning to understand. I really love what you said as far as, understanding other people's points of view and, where they're coming from, and to have a broader vision of, acceptance of, of our differences, that we're more alike than we are different. And I really, truly believe that. So I want you to share, please, before we say goodbye, where people can find you. And I gotta say, I'm excited for you because I really know that your journey is just going to keep growing for sure. So thank you. So if you could share where they can find you, that would be great. Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity, Debbie. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Facebook. LinkedIn and Facebook, it's my name, Echezonachi Awa. And on Instagram is Chess Talks. You see a lot about my business there and a little bit of myself. Yeah, so Chess Talks on Instagram. And then I have a YouTube channel too, of course, for my podcast is Chess.
Perfect.
And I have my podcast, is on Anchor, is on Apple, is on Google. Right. So Spotify. So that's basically all about it.
So you're to be found just about everywhere, girls. So that's great. Well, thank you so much again. This has meant a lot to me, my friend. And again, I know you are going to really inspire and help a lot of women along their journey. So thank you for that. And thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you.
Have a good one, everyone. And until next time.
Thanks again for taking some time out of your day to spend it with me. If there's a topic you'd like me to discuss, please reach out at therealdealwithdeb@gmail.com. If you've enjoyed this episode, I'd really appreciate it if you left me a review. And as always, keeping it real. Until next time.